5 out of 6 people think Russian roulette is perfectly harmless. Welcome to Shave&Butcher, because you're worth it. That joke came from Walter Seriaulo. Walter is the one who donated the razor that Niklas Gudmundsson put scales to, and then they donated that to as the first prize for the first Shave&Butcher Parkinson's raffle. So thank you guys for that. Today the shave will be with the ArtRazor. I don't know if I showed you the case, but that's what it looks like. Handmade straight razor from the Ukraine. This is what it looks like. It's a shiny little thing with the Neubauten man. It's a Capitaine. It's a 9/8 half hollow razor. So there you go. And it's Cocobolo wood, I think. Pretty cool anyway. And yeah, it's pretty thick. Put it to the nose so you can see. Pretty thick spine on that thing. Anyways, the soap will be Moon Soaps Sorrento Italiano, and we'll finish off with Higa, the citrus and cedar wood. Is it cedar or sandal? The cedar wood. And the brush is going to be my Paladin 28mm Badger. Voila. Had this soaking for about 10 minutes. So the brush is wet, but I did squeeze it out to get an appropriate amount of moisture in the whiskers as I load the brush. You don't want it to be too much because then it's just fluff, and you don't want it to be too little because then you can't really get all the soap out that you want to, and it becomes very much like toothpaste. So this is a matter of preference. And I used a little bit more water than I usually do, but we'll see. I think that will be just fine. Get the excess stuff. If I remember, I'll show you how I clean the tin, the jar, what do you call it? The boxy thing that the soap is in. Okay, something. It's late at night, we're a bit tired, we're going to bed, and that might explain the disappearance of, oh, this is a nice smell. This is supposed to smell like being in Italy. You know, the Amalfi Coast, or I can't remember. Sorrento is somewhere. I didn't check where it is. If it is anywhere, it's on the southwest coast. Well, I shouldn't say that because I really don't know, but I think so. I think I checked it. Lovely scent, citrus, a bit of like a lemon, but then also a bit of grape and some other stuff happening. Olives, mainly, maybe. I'm letting my imagination run wild, assuming I'm in Italy. Well, the southernest I've ever been in Italy is Napoli. And when you're in Napoli, you're in the south. Now, geographically, you can travel quite a bit south. But as far as I know, culturally, it's pretty south. I don't know. Napoli is where many things were invented. One is the pizza. And they don't let you forget it, because if you're having even a lunch, you know, you're having lunch, so you pick your lunch, veal, something, whatever, and then, yeah, it's gonna be good. You get some vino, and without even asking for it. You get pizza as a starter for lunch. It's beautiful. But if I lived there, I'd be horribly fat. Horribly, horribly fat. Walter also taught me what my name would be in Italian. So my name is Johan Granat. Granat is a grenade. So in Italiano it's Giovanni Bomba a Mano. Mano is hands, I guess it's hand grenade. We'll take that. Giovanni Bomba a Mano. Sounds like, I don't know, Tombola Bomba. You remember Tombola Bomba? The world's best slalom skier for a while. He was taken over after Ingemar Stenmark. Pretty much. They did compete at the same time, I think. Well, it was, if they did, it was towards the end of Stenmark's career. Yeah, this is a good soap. Try not to build up something too much of a monster lather. Rather get it hydrated in a good way. But oh yeah, I wonder what my name would sound like in other languages. I really don't know. I guess in French it would be Jean Grenade. But what about, yeah, if you speak another language and if you want to humor me. What would my name be in your language? Bomba a mano. Okay. That will do, my friends. Yeah, this should be good. Is it too wet or is it not worked in properly? There are a few bubbles there. Sorry to trouble you. If you get bubbles in, because there are a few, it's okay. I don't think it really affects the shave, but if you really want to get a perfect lather, you want to work it a bit and then the bubbles will come out. Well, theoretically. Oui. Okay. Coffee, nothing else. I'm trying to behave a bit. All right, 9/8. This weighs a ton. I don't know what, I should weigh it. I think I say that every time I pull it out. It's a heavy razor. And it's a big one. It's heavy when you move it around the face too. But it works really well. And it's an affordable, high quality custom razor. I mean, it was a few years ago. I think I paid $300. Then I had to pay extra for the logo thing. I can't remember what that was. That wasn't cheap. But the razor itself, you pick a model. He's got, I don't know, a bit less than 10 maybe. I haven't checked in a long while. And then you choose the size, or you discuss it with him. He's got some opinions too, and then you decide the grind. And off you go. Am I going to bleed again? It'll be for a week. Getting FaceTime from someone. I don't know who it is. Let's see who it is. Hallå? Hej? Du har nog ringt fel. All right. Ja, hej. Wrong number. You never know. It's almost midnight. Could be something interesting. Yeah, I'm happy I answered. Yeah. Yeah, so I picked this model. I said I wanted a 9/8, and then I asked his advice for the grind, and he said that model and that size to make it balanced, sort of the razor's true nature, half hollow, that's what he said. And it works well, it looks good. It's balanced, it works well. I mean, I have an 8/8 old crazy Swedish razor, which is a full hollow. And it looks ridiculous, but it somehow works. So it's thick at the top and then thin for a long time. So some razors are good, some are not. I guess it's the steel and very much the skill of the razor master. Very good. It feels like you could do one pass with 5 strokes. You can't really, because, you know, it doesn't make a huge difference what size the razor is, except a large one collects more lather. But it feels like you can do. That's what it sounds like in my head when I shave. Yeah, very good. I was listening to a podcast, and these two geniuses were discussing. They were discussing how a bank robbery with your dad would go down. like if you really had to, you were broke, so you needed to do a bank robbery with your dad. Would that work? And how would that work? And would you would you collaborate? Would you be able to pull it off, you think? And it's quite interesting. So I spent the day thinking about that. Not the whole day, but part of the day. I think my dad and I would be really good bank robbers. We'd struggle if we hurt people. But if it went well, I think we'd do okay, because we'd be prepared, you know. My dad he's very organized. He'd do the preparations properly. He'd do a lot of the execution too. And I would just be the cool and calm guy that would talk people down, calm them down. Don't press that alarm button, lady, I would say. Oh, but I mean, preparations must be a big thing, eh? And we'd nail that. We would, for sure. Execution, different story. You never know, I think, until you put yourself in the situation. We would be as prepared as you could be. And he'd make sure, we're not planning this, okay? I'm just fantasizing. He would have the plan, and I would have the backup plans, and I'd improvise us out of trouble. So now it's interesting. But I really wouldn't want to hurt people. I couldn't live with that. Like if you had to shoot someone. So we're not gonna do it, and we're not that desperate for cash. I'm just thinking. So what would, you and your dad, or your son. I'm thinking male bank robbers. I don't know if that's wrong. I mean, you could do it with your mum or daughter. So maybe I'm just being a bit of a chauvinist, thinking it's a male thing. I'm sure ladies would be, or are, phenomenal bank robbers. Because most of the ones you hear about are men. Maybe it's the men who get caught. Because the women are a bit more clever. And not so much cowboys. Yeah, I think my mother would make a good bank robber if I could turn her into becoming one. She'd keep her cool. Oops. I think maybe I did something bad there. We'll see what happens. Where am I? I'm fantasizing about robbing a bank with my parents. Well, it couldn't be both parents. Because they wouldn't get along. They're divorced. So that's a good thing. Yeah. So I did get my fill. I felt it. Damn. Just starting to heal up from this monstrosity. Okay. Silly. When you talk while you're shaving with a thing like that, you've only got yourself to blame if you get a cut. But I felt that, so usually when you feel it, it's pretty deep. No, it's not that deep, but I can see it. It's like that. So it's when you put the blade to the, Yeah, so that was my Saturday fantasizing about bank robberies. And the interesting thing is I fantasized about the planning and the execution, not the money as such. But then again, I wouldn't do it unless I really had to. I wouldn't do it to become rich. Because how much bleeding is there in my videos lately? Crazy. Don't watch me to learn anything, okay? Watch me for my philosophy on crime. There you go. I think that's a fairly good shave. Let's see. I shall rinse and come back. was pretty good. Pretty good. A bit of bleeding. And that might be a toilet paper again. Silly, silly. You have to pay attention to what you do. Otherwise, there shall be blood. Higga. You can buy this from at least one Swedish webpage. I think it's Gents. I can't remember. Gent or Gents dot something. SE probably. Good shave, cool blade, fantastic soap, great brush, lovely aftershave, nothing but the good stuff. So people tell me I should listen to my inner voice, but my inner voice tells me not to listen to it, so I try not to. I'll leave you with that, and see you soon. Meanwhile, stay sharp. Oh, and I feel silly now because it's really nothing, but since I said I would show it, what I do with this, because that's gooey, right? Because I don't build the lather in it, but I load with quite a bit of water. So I like it clean when I finish. So I rinse it, and while I rinse it, I do this with a brush. And that way I get everything out and the brush is clean at the same time. And then get all the water out, and then I leave it for at least 24 hours to dry, and then I put the lid on. Nothing dramatic. I'm sure you have better methods than I do, but that's how I do it. Sayonara.